Hi everybody, welcome back to Hex Token channel where we're covering Pulsechain in depth, and welcome to the basically the Sacrifice Hangout really. So I hope you guys are enjoying that once a day pretty much at least. We've been covering the Pulsechain, which I think is the biggest thing ahead of us. Now we're going to look at all the details, you know, the total amount sacrificed, the amount of time left, the points and all that sort of stuff. And of course we're going to check out the impact that the sacrifice phase is having on the Hex as well. So let's get into it. Hope you guys enjoy yourself. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button, like button, hit the bell, of course, share the video if you can. And if you want to join as a member of the channel, hit that join button. And there's 4 different options there: Axionites, Elites, Heroes, and of course the big one, Kraken. So get in and help support the content creation on this channel. All right, let's get straight into it. First of all, don't forget to get into the comments there. Love your comments, and go for gold. We'll probably have Alex may drop in. You just never know, and give some of good old Alex's wisdom in there as well. Very cool. All right, let's quickly go to the first one. Of course, we have about 5 hours and 5 hours and 3 minutes left of today. So day 11, isn't it? So pretty amazing, day 11 of 19, and we're counting it down. So if you want to get into sacrifice today, you can get into that. Now remember, the sacrifice is the first phase of the sort of pre-launch for 4 Pulsechain. So we've got sacrifice. That's optional. You don't have to go in there, but most people are going in there to get the Pulse coins. It's a bit like getting Ethereum at the beginning of Ethereum, which launched at about 33 cents. So Ethereum launched at 33 cents. So it's a bit like getting it there. And then, of course, we're going to have public testnet, and that's any day now. And then obviously after that, if that's all successful, we have the fork. That's where you get the big airdrop, the big copy. And then we have Pulsechain mainnet going live. All right, so somewhere in the range of 30 to 60 days is the side of the time frame there. So we'll see how that goes. Obviously, software testing and things like that still in play. Code's been finished, but of course, and published. But of course, that's sort of the timeline at the moment. We'll see how we go. All right, so 5 hours to get in there. If you are deciding to go into the sacrifice, you want to get in today. Obviously, let's have a quick look. There's 8 days after this until the phase is over. So day 11 of 19, and then 8 days after that. So let's quickly look at some of the basic stuff here. This is what the price is today. So we started off the first 5 days was $1 per 10,000 points. There's 2 components to getting points. It's the time, earlier is better, and then the second part is bigger is better. So the more US dollar amount that you get in there is better as well. So that ranks you up. So we'll quickly check that. So earlier is better. This is this chart here, and it started off the first 5 days $1 per 10,000 points. Now we're up to this white line. That's where up on there at the moment on day 11, and it's going to cost you $1.34 for 10,000 points. So really crossing over that expensive line. By the time we get up to day 19, it's going to cost you about $1.98, $1.99 to get 10,000 points. So really, this is the turning point here today. After that, really does start getting up there. You can see by the time we get to day about 13, it's going to cost $1.50. So 50% more than the first 5 days there as well. So that's the first part. Earlier is better. You can see that on the chat there. So it only gets more expensive. The second part, of course, is, you guessed it, second part is, let me just double check if my audio is going. Yeah, audio is going. Sweet, sweet, sweet. So second part, of course, is bigger is better. And that's the volume multiplier. So earlier is better, bigger is better. Those determine your points pretty much. And so volume bonus multiplier, we know that it's a linear bonding curve between 1 and 2.5 only for day 1 to 16. All right, so we're in day 11 at the moment. So 5 more days after this applies. That's that second part. Bigger is better. You get ranked based on your US dollar sacrifice amount. And of course, it's between 1 and 2.5 multiplier. Day 17, 18, and 19 is the worst rates. It will be flat on those days. So that's important to know. It will be flat bonus there. So maybe you'll get 5,000 points on day 19 times, 1.75. That's kind of the logic there. All right, very cool. Let's quickly go. We've got a couple of comments in the chat. Let's get it. Super Kitty's in the house. Hey, Super Kitty, good to see you. It's go for $1 billion sacrifice. I think so. I think we're that's still quite possible at the current rate. I do expect some big movements at the end of the sacrifice period. So we're going to talk about that quickly now. So this part here, we've talked about on this channel that we could see whales moving at this stage somewhere in here. And a lot of commentators are talking about the last couple of days, 17, 18, 19. We may get some whale movement on the 16th at the end of the USD ranking. We also, that would mean pushing the price up of perhaps Hex, which is about 2/3 of the sacrifice. So that's a big deal. And we're also in the day 17, 18, 19. We may see the Origin wallet move in 17, 18, 19 as well. So we could see some interesting movements on the price. Obviously, the price really needs to move greater or similar to the price curve here on earlier is better, because obviously they want to get as much US dollar volume. So will we see something like the Origin wallet from Hex going here? Possible. Will we see some big whales going in there, like Overwatch and a few others? Let's see what happens there for sure. It's going to be interesting to see the price at the end. And of course, it closes out. So people trying to get those Pulse coins, we're going to find out. Obviously, the price needs to be lift pretty high into that top expected range. You know, above 30 cents, somewhere up there, maybe up towards the 40-cent mark. Is quite a few commentators still making that allure, as it were, which is what you would need to offset this price thing as well. So pretty interesting stuff there. Nice comment there, Super Kitty. Hey, Justin Davis in the house. Yo. Good to see Justin Davis as always. Very cool. All right, so welcome everybody. Don't forget to smash that like button, hit the sub, and hit that bell, of course, and share if you can. Awesome stuff. Let's go. Okay, so that's basically the overview. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And now if you want to participate, you click the open DApp. Now all the links in the video description. So this site is the official site, pulsechain.com. Once again, always verify. A lot of scammers out there, so just verify. But I have left the links in there. You open the DApp and it will bring you to this page. This is where you sacrifice, connect up your wallet, and then select the network and the coins that you want to do. So obviously you've got Avalanche, Binance Chain, Binance Smart Chain, Bitcoin Cash, Cardano, Dogecoin, EOS, Ethereum, Litecoin, Monero, Polygon Matic, so it's cool, Ripple, Stellar Network, Tron, and Zcash. So very cool. So obviously a lot of people are doing Ethereum. So if you go into Ethereum, you'll see the Ethereum address. This is the one address everybody sacrifices to this one. It's OX9C, ends in 62CB. And of course, there is the official social network. So you can always check that as well, particularly Telegram if you want to get some help. Probably a good place to go, the Telegram one there. And of course, here are the official coins that you can, or tokens you can sacrifice on Ethereum: Aave, Link, Dai, Hex, Maker, Ren BTC, USDC, USDT, Uni, Wrapped Bitcoin, and Wrapped ETH. And many of those are also on the Binance Smart Chain and Polygon Matic as well, which representing as well. So check that out, especially the stable coins. All right, so very cool. All right, let's quickly check. So that's been just an overview of the sacrifice phase for people and the process. So hopefully if you're new to the sacrifice, that sort of helps you there. Now let's go to the actual results. How much has been sacrificed so far? We're on day 11, but we've got 5 hours to go. Let's go see what that is at the moment. So we're on pulselead.site, pulselead.xyz. Now it's in the video description as well. And let's quickly check how much we've got. $654 million has been sacrificed so far. This doesn't include, of course, non-Ethereum tokens, pretty much just Ethereum. It includes some of SENS, which is part of you can donate to the SENS Foundation. You only get 75% of the points. You have to email the SENS Foundation, of course, and some of the Staker app. So there's donations through the Staker app. That's the Hex Staker app on their phone. So there's some of those there and are not included. So there is some exclusions there, but this gives a good guide. I've put in that we're over 685 million on the video description, just to be reasonably conservative. So suggesting that we've probably got 30 million in non-Ethereum, and it's probably higher than that. That all hasn't been added up, but just as a guide, that number is going up as each day. So here's the sacrifice phase, of course, ends in 8 days and 4 hours. So that's pretty much the overview. Let's quickly check. We're going to check the market. This is the actual based on the hourly snapshots. So this gives a good indicator of the half an hour time weighted average price that the sacrifice is actually going to use for non-stable coins. Obviously, if you're using stable coins like USDC, USDT, then they're obviously US dollar equivalent. So there we are. All right, so we're going to check out the market, of course, value of the sacrifice at the moment. Obviously, is moving, particularly with the Hex price, since about 2/3 of the sacrifice on the Ethereum chain is Hex tokens. So we're going to check that out in a second. But before we do that, let's check out the actual performance over time. We're going to go right into the bottom before we get into the top there. So this here is showing a snapshot. Now, I believe this is fairly accurate. So day 5, we had a big surge there, 243 million. We've come back from there, and we're just slowly tapering off here at the moment. So here we are, day 10. Yesterday we did 12.45 million. This chart says, and then we're down to 4.18 at the moment. So really tapering off with the sacrifice levels. But once again, what's going to happen on day 16, 17, 18, 19? That could have some of the big whales come out to play. So we might see another surge before that time, and also a good reasonable probability of a price movement in the Hex. Once again, they would have to really go quite high to offset the penalties if that's what the whales were trying to do. Maybe they're just going to try and get more value in there as well. So there is risk, of course. Maybe the whale has to be fairly big and confident they can make that play happen before, unless there's sellers coming into market. So obviously, as you push the price up, you've always got some sellers sitting on the sideline. But if those sellers, if the big accounts are the big billionaire, there's a couple of, big billion liquid ones, I think, then like Overwatch, then that they may not be selling down into it. So it's just a smaller, medium-sized plebs get doing that. Maybe a few OGs as well. So we'll see how that plays out. This is speculation as we go at the moment. So definitely just a declining thing at the moment. But what could happen day 16, 17, 18, 19? That could be quite interesting, particularly 16 and 19 in particular. So we'll watch out for that at the moment. We're going to check out the Hex price later on as a key indicator. So that's pretty much the total amount and the trend for the sacrifice. Let's quickly go to obviously the leaderboard and see where that's at. Before I do that, let me just get into some of the comments there. Alex Case gets, I think Pulse will get to billion by the end. I think so too. Now, I think if you remember near the beginning, I thought maybe we could even get up to 1.5, 1.6 billion. But of course, with the tapering off there, that's less likely. But of course, with the whales towards the end and people wanting to get in at the end, we could see a surge there as well. Obviously, if the price of Hex gets pushed up, that dollar's going to go up through the roof there on the time snapshot as well, not just the market value. So some interesting stuff play there. Good comments there, though, Alex. Counting all the sacrifice coins, says Alex K. And nice one, especially if there is a price spike in the end, prompting another round of sacrifices from whales and everyone else. That's true. So we could see that happening. It may not happen. But there's a good chance that I think that it could happen. So we'll see whether it's, like I say, the big whales, the Origin wallet, something like that. We'll see. The one of the reasons around that is that I still don't see a concentration of tokens. Like in Hex, you have a concentration of tokens in the Origin wallet. It obviously also impacts the market cap. So we don't see that in the Pulse sacrifice. So that's an interesting feature. I don't know what Alex thinks about that. Let me know, Alex, what you think about that difference. And that's why I think maybe the Origin wallet will come in. We'll see what happens there, because obviously the Genesis wallet gets 1%, but that's not really a commanding position. So let me know what you think there, Alex. And also, Pulse is deflationary, so that's really part of the fundamentals there. But that's a slow process over time, right? So, Chris V's in there. Wish this sacrifice phase ends already. Bring out the Pulse. Yeah, well, it's the journey's as much fun as the end goal, but I think that the sacrifice phases are going to tick through now. We're already over halfway, day 11, day 19. They're already ticking through now, so it's going to be pretty soon anyway. Alex K says testnet should be starting this week, so you can start playing there while waiting for mainnet launch. Absolutely, Alex. Nice comment. All right, very cool. Let's quickly go into the top leaderboard, see where we're at. We've got the top 100 showing up. We've still got, let's go to the top there. We've still got the top 5 over 10 million. So we've got 29.7, so just under 30 million. We've got the God Whale here, 39C5 is the address, the God Whale at 19,634,000. Let's quickly check, see what the God Whale's been doing. It's sitting at number 2. It's sort of still sitting on 74,000 Ethereum. It is, I believe, a Genesis Ethereum wallet too. So one of the early whales, as I say. So 162 million sitting in at the moment. It does send money, Ethereum, off to a lot of other wallets. Used to have about 300,000 ETH in there, as I understand it. And that's look, it's still sitting on 188 million Hex. What's going to do with that, Alex? Let me know what you think. 25.5 million dollars worth there. And it's currently obviously sitting at the market price of Hex, which is at 13, just under 13, or just over 13.5 cents. So nothing's happened there for that. Hasn't done anything since it decided to sacrifice 10,000 ETH and take number 2 spot in the leaderboard. You can actually check the transactions there, view transaction by wallet, and see what's happening there. Let's quickly go check. So you can actually see there's the 10,000 ETH that it did, of course. And if we go back to the wallet, we can actually jump on that and see that 10,000 ETH is the last transaction it has made. So that's the 10,000 ETH there, and it's sitting in there now, right there. So pretty cool. Sitting at rank number 2. A spot, eh? Who wants to be ranked number 2? Put your hand up. Put your hand up. All right, there we are. So there are rank number 2, and so forth. So there we are, folks. That's where we're at the moment. on that one. Let's go down to number 3, sitting at 19.4 million. Number 5, 4, 15.4. Now this number 3 wallet's also significant. I just forgotten just for the moment. Alex might remember, but I've just forgotten it at the moment. So number 4 is 15.4 million, and of course number 5, which was our last one, 10.7 million. Is up there, and then we've got quite a few other pretty big millionaires there. Let's see how many millionaires we've got today. I think last time we checked was 78, something like that. That was yesterday. So we're going to scroll down, see how many millionaires have entered to try to become Pulse whales as well. We're going to scroll down there. We'll keep going. So 78 looks like it's still the same as yesterday. So 78 millionaires there, and we've got quite a few sitting below there though in the 900s. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sitting in the 900,000s. It's not bad. Let's just go to the top 100. And so to get top 100, you need 777,779. So pretty similar to yesterday from memory. Let's have a look at the top 1,000 and check this out. Of course, the total number of wallets in there now has actually jumped quite a bit from yesterday. It's actually up at 37,489. This is just the Ethereum chain, member. But that's quite a jump from yesterday. So a lot of smaller players have been sacrificing amounts, and there's probably 2 reasons for that. One, they wanted to get into the sacrifice, and number 2, maybe they're trying to get accounts set up for potential Genesis airdrops. So that's the 37,489. Let's go to the bottom 1,000. See where we're at there. What's the bottom one? So to be in the top 1,000, you need to have 77,172. So interesting. Top 100 is 777,000, and to get in the top 1,000, you need 77,000. So 7 is the lucky number, folks. 7 is the lucky number for sure. Hey, Nike Catel's in the chat there. Price prediction in 1 year for Pulsechain. Alex says a couple pennies would be nice. Yeah, a couple pennies would be nice. I'm thinking that there's going to be something like maybe something like 15 trillion tokens or something around that. Alex, what do you think? And I also think that at that price, we could see a tenth of a penny is kind of where I'm targeting at the moment, but we could see a couple pennies in time for sure. Nike Catel, yep, it would. So a couple pennies. I'm seeing a tenth of a penny at this stage, or depending on because as the US dollar sacrifice amount goes up, so does the number of pulse in the market as well. But we'll see. Obviously, a tenth of a penny is a pretty good multiple there. Alex Case says more than 10 trillion. Yeah, definitely more than 10 trillion. But I'm sort of seeing we've still got a bit of way to go there. We'll see how we end up at the end. I could tell, so 10,000 points for every dollar. It's a lot of supply. That is a lot of supply. And I remember that the minimum was going to be about 1.1 trillion. That's 10,000 points or 10,000 pulse to every Ethereum out there. There's about 116 million Ethereum out in the market. So that gives you a bit of comparison there. Right. So that's the top 1,000. So if you're in the top 1,000, congratulations. That's just the Ethereum. Doesn't of course include some sacrifices from Bitcoin Cash, and a couple of the others there. I always name those 2, but the rest of them. All right, pretty cool. And when I talk about the rest of them, I'm talking about all these other ones that are in here. All these. There's so many of them. So very cool. Don't forget this. I've got a list in the description, and I think that's pretty much up to date. Obviously, Alex, you can check out that list. Let me know if I've actually missed anything off that. But best efforts have been made. All right, so very cool. That's the top 1,000. Let's check out the top 5,000. Yes, 5,000. Pretty cool. And let's go for gold on this. Here we go. Pulse Lead. This is Pulse Leads. Pulselead.xyz site. Remember, Pulse, and it's in the video description. Let's keep going down here. So we're going to wait for this to update. This 5,000 just takes a little bit of time to churn through the old database. Now you can download this whole list and find your own wallet in there. You can also enter your address here on the top right with the search button, and it will find your sacrifice if you've done it on the Ethereum blockchain. But you can also download the whole list of 37,490 addresses as well if you want to check that as well. So it's asking me to wait there. Very cool. Where have I gone there? Oops, yeah, that's the last one. I'll put that one up there. Sorry about that. Forgot to put the comments up there on that one. So let's quickly go. I think we're almost there. Just waiting for that to reset. It's almost done. Yeah, just got to be patient. Otherwise, it falls over. 5,000 addresses there. Let's see how we're doing. Let's scroll. I don't think it's still populated quite right there. There we are. Let's go right to the bottom. Oh, going too far there. 5,000. So 5,000 address. It has gone up. It's gone up about 200 dollars. I think it was at 10,760 yesterday, if I remember rightly. Now it's almost at 11,000. So I imagine it's going to hit 11,000 today, next 5 hours. I'm pretty confident that will probably just tip over there as well. We always get a little bit of surge before the 5 o'clock, before the day it rolls over. So it's now almost 11,000 to get in the top 5,000. So there we are, and we've got 37,490, excluding non-Ethereum sacrifices, looking pretty good there. Also, here we are, you can entire leaderboard CSV, you can download that if you want to, and all traction CSV as well, if you want to download that. So pretty cool. Great site. Congratulations to the developer. I think the developer may have been on this channel about 2 or 3 days ago, but beautiful, looking really nice, this site. Nice one there. And you can also donate to the developer there if you want to help out there. It's got features up here as well. I'm not sure what that part is, but very cool. Actually, it does have the features here. Of course, it's got the wallets, the block sync, the commits, the transactions, stuff like that going on. And you can suggest a feature if you want to add a feature on there. Very cool. So congrats to the person. I think there's also these got all the ETH tokens here that are on there, little icons as well. If you want to double check, you can actually do it on the site pulseleads.com, and you can see all the different tokens there that are sacrificable. Very cool indeed. All right, so that's pretty nice. I think we can move on from that one. So that there is the total amount based on the hourly snapshot on the Ethereum. Gives us the bulk of it. Let's quickly check the market prices, of course. That's the gold wallet. We've already done that one. Let's go to the market here, and we're going to refresh and see what the market value of the sacrifice on the Ethereum blockchain is. And you can see that this is the Ethereum sacrifice address OX9C, ends in 62CB. All right, and it's currently saying 583, almost 584 million US dollars is the market value at the moment of the sacrifice. We have hit, amazingly, 3 billion. Yes, 3 billion Hex has been sacrificed. Beautiful. And obviously, the higher this is, the better for both the Hex project and also for the Pulse one there. Nice one. So that's with 188,491 ETH, or 400, almost 411 US dollars at the moment. Now this can change pretty fast if that, obviously the Hex price changes. If the whales do move the price later in the sacrifice period, day 16, day 19, whatever, then that will be pretty big. That will jump up in value very fast. You could see that if that obviously that gets up to the 25 to 40 cent range, then that there will get close to $1 billion, I guess. Pretty huge. Okay, over $1 billion actually, if it really goes up 3x, for example, which is entirely possible given you can move the liquidity. It's not too big, so you can move it. All right, let's have a quick look at the USD amount. 122 million US dollars in the USDC. DAI at 27,244 and Tether at 21,175. Now this seems to be liquidating other tokens and turning them into stable coins, so including ETH, which gets sacrificed. You can see the ETH up there at the moment, 36. Obviously, thousands of ETH have gone in there, but they seem to be converted into the US dollar staple here as well. And I think that's happening on the Binance Smart Chain and Polygon Matic as well. I think a lot of that's been turned into USDC, is my guess as well. Just had a look at the BSC chain earlier, and that seemed to be down way from yesterday. So I imagine that they've been tuning it into this stuff. So what have we got there? We've got 48, 68, 70, 71. So 171 million in stable coins there, excluding some of the minor ones here like Uniswap and stuff like that, which have probably been converted as well. I think a lot of it. 171 million stable coins. Now, what's that going to be used for? People, obviously, when you sacrifice, you're giving away your coins. You're supposed to expect nothing under the Howey test, and nothing for the work of others and that sort of stuff. You're sacrificing for a political statement that you believe in freedom, and that blockchain is freedom of speech, and so you're sacrificing for that. Of course, you're going to get an airdrop reward for that on the other side, as in Pulse coins. But that's kind of the play there. Of course, the stable coins, what are they going to be used for? Could be all sorts of things. Could be liquidity pools, could be airdrops, but you're not supposed to expect any work from these things. They are gone burger, but hey, they may have some function. We just don't know what the sacrifice address will do. Don't forget, sacrifice address also gets 1% of the supply, so that's important too. If you go back to the Pulse site, Pulsechain sites, you can see where's it up here? A Genesis address gets 1% of the total PLS supply at launch. So not exactly the sacrifice address, perhaps, but perhaps it is the same. It will not benefit you and may waste the coins as it wishes. So we'll see how that goes. Now, obviously, a lot of people have been talking about airdrops and stuff like that, especially for Genesis wallets. So take that as well. Nothing guaranteed, of course. But hey, it's going to be Pulsechain's going to be a system state copy of Ethereum. That's a pretty big deal. And we also know that Hex holders have been lucky to benefit from at least 4 or 5 airdrops on different exchanges like Unicoin, 1inch, and things like that. So you just never know. You just never know. All right, very cool. All right, so we're up to there. Let's quickly go over to let's quickly go back over here. So we'll quickly checked out the market value there. Let's quickly go and check out, and once again, that highlight today, it really is going over 3 billion Hex is pretty awesome. We are not far away from, saying we're solidly over 700 million too. I think that we could possibly get there in the next day. At this stage, we'll see how we go. It depends on the sacrifice, maybe 2 days. All right, so here we are. This is my favorite chart. This is the percentage sacrificed. Now, I did see Gunther, the accountant, on a show, I think it was yesterday, and that was awesome. I loved hearing him. I think Kurt Kadowski and other people were on there as well. That was pretty interesting. And so the total amount sacrificed at the moment, 0.478, almost a 0.5%. Teasing. Can it get to 1%? That would be beautiful if it did, but that would really depend on what happens with the whales, if they decide to move or not move. And we'll see how that goes. If we just continue to see a tapering off right to the end, then obviously that will not get there. But if we do see some big whale movements, then that there's a good chance of that happening. Indeed, sitting at the sacrifice, if we highlight over that, we can see the little white light there on the pie chart, sitting at just under 0.5% sacrifice. Once again, we started off at about 4.7, 4.8%, and we have, if you take this off, say almost 0.5%, then that takes you down to about 4.2, 4.3%. Obviously, that's adjusted, of course, dampened down by the anything coming out of the staker class, and obviously we've seen the staking class move down from at least 750,000 to 1.25 million. So really, that's dampened that effect out. So pushed it back up. So we might be sitting at something like 4.5, 4.6 or something like that, maybe 4.5% in the liquid, which is fantastic fundamentals, right? And we've also seen more staking, longer staking, and also we've seen not in dollar amounts, but in number of stakers, and we've also seen a lot more wallet growth as well. So pretty cool. All those metrics are all fundamentals. Very nice. We can actually see the circulating supply sitting at 570, 0.66 billion. We know that 544 billion in the Origin wallet, and maybe more. So which represents about 95% of the liquid amount. So it's only got about 4.5% something. So it's probably 95.5 now if you include the sacrifice address, which includes that 0.5%. So really is getting the squeeze on there, folks. The fundamentals look fantastic, really do. Obviously, that plays out over a bit of time. There are still a couple of big wallets out there, like I think Overwatch is one of them that has a couple of billion tokens. So they don't seem to be doing too much with them at this stage, but we do know they will take profits at some stage. But they also are noted to have done a lot of supportive activities for the project as well. So we'll see how that plays out over time. Nothing's guaranteed. But a lot of the stuff is looking pretty good. Now, the staked amount, of course, 60.65 billion. That's down from 2 months ago. So if you're in the staking class, you're doing even better now with the stake percentage down to 9.56. That means you're getting a better APY. Now, remember that the APY on Hex is 3.69% per annum. But if you've only got 10% staked, then you just go 10 times 3.69 gives you about 38% APY. That's sort of how that works. So obviously the Origin wallet is not staked. If it's got 95%, that's cool. That means you get that high APY. Obviously, if it was staked, then you probably end up getting about 1% per annum. So that's one of the functions of the Origin wallet, is a feature, it seems, of the Hex project. Now, that's the thing that seems to be missing from Pulsechain. I'm not exactly sure how those fundamentals going to play out on there. Obviously, Pulsechain is a chain and not a DeFi project, a certificate of deposit. So they are different, from a functionality point of view. But I'm just interested to see what further fundamentals Richard has up his sleeve. Will an Origin wallet or something similar to that move at the end of the sacrifice phase will Richard said he's got things up his sleeve. He's got some secret sauce. What are those things? Where are we going to find them out? And stuff like that. So he also said that if Ethereum doesn't play ball with Pulsechain on that, then he's got some things up his sleeve for that too. So we'll see how that plays out too. So a lot of things we don't know. Richard's got a few playing cards there, and we'll obviously see them in time. But some interesting stuff going on there for sure. All right, let's jump over there. So that's pretty cool. In the actual liquidity pool there, we've got 52 million. So it's still floating around that 50 to 54 million type of thing, and 52 million. So it hasn't really moved much, obviously. The version 3 USD pair is up a bit, about 2 million, but that's about it. So yeah, 58% there and 26 there. So 70, 86%. So obviously with the price being a bit lower, that's what's happening at the moment. We've got the price at 13 and just under 13.5 cents. So that's why the liquidity pool's got a bit more hex in it. Just obviously they've moved together. If the price goes up, then there's less hex in the pools. But that's what we're looking at for, folks. We want to get that squeeze in there, get that price fundamentals even further. We've got T-shares, of course, at 2.5, just under 2,500, 2,453. And obviously that's pretty huge too. Remember they back in the 5th of January 2020, they were worth 60 cents, folks, 60 cents. So pretty mind-blowing stuff actually on that one. Let's quickly get the calculator out and work out what that is just for fun. It's always good to have a bit of fun there and see what that is. So 2453.4 divided by 0.6. That's 4,089x. Not too bad, not too bad at all. That's what you call pumpermentals in motion. Pumpermentals in motion for that. So it costs you that much there to get a T-share at the moment. So pretty amazing stuff. All right, very cool. Let's quickly jump over to the Hex.vision site. Check out the overview there. Obviously, there's 634 billion hex on this one. Slight difference in the circulating supply number. Still don't know what that is. 573 million. We've still got decent stakes. Still decently higher than the pre-pulse period, but not in the boom periods here. But still not too bad. Somewhere in between, in the middle. But certainly, stakes are slowly declining. And as we see the sacrifice decline, right? So we jump back to the sacrifice decline at the moment. We're also seeing it's sort of fitting with this trend as well. But once again, we think that there's a good chance, at least a good scenario, that could see whales moving day 16 onwards or something like that. So we'll see how that plays out. We've got 315,861 addresses in Hex at the moment, and we've 315,484. So this was growing by about 1,300, 1,500 a day. Then yesterday it was about 900 or something, and today it looks like it's the last 24 hours. It's down to about 350 or something like that. The difference. So, but the staked amount 9.567. Now, I'm pretty sure that used to be about 9.7, 9.8%. So definitely, if you're in staking class, you are winning big time on that. And the stakers, the number of wallets are slowing down, but still huge increase. Pre-pulse, this was under 300,000. And looks like it's gone up by about 16, 17,000, something like that. Pretty awesome stuff there. A big boost to the Hex class as well. So sacrifice phase, the Pulsechain definitely had a huge benefit for the Hexagon project as well. And we'll have one for going forward as well, no doubt. All right, let's quickly check on the Hex price. And obviously, we'll check looking at Hex, obviously, because it is represent about 2/3 of the ETH chain sacrifice. So it is a big deal. So we sort of cover this in reasonable depth. We can see the price here, doing a few little waterfalls down there. Let's quickly look at the full chart. This is the version 2 USD pair. As you know, it's the biggest one. If we come back to here, you can see version 2 USD is the biggest pair, and that's what we're looking at the moment on Dex Tools. If you're not using the Dex Tools, it's a pretty cool site. You can use that as well. So we're going to full screen this and go there, go for gold. And we're looking at the hourly chart at the moment. So just sort of in this range, really, between 15 cents and 13 cents. So 15 to 13 cents is on the lower end of that. You can see the Bollinger Bands of the orange lights. Basically, the Bollinger Bands, the bottom of it represents 5% of the price range, and the top one represents 95%, with the red line there being the average between the two. So just slightly below there at the moment. And let's quickly check the daily candle, and quickly check the daily candle on the price here. And wait for that to update. So there we are, folks. That's what it's looking like. Remember that we did see that price support coming into liquidity pool, sitting at about 5.4 cents. Where was that? About here. So yeah, in this range, the price support with those big buys, millions of dollars worth of buys. I think it was something like 10, $11 million. I haven't checked to see whether they're still there, but I would presume they are. And that there was asymmetrical, of course, because on I think it might be on the version 3 pair actually, because you can do asymmetrical liquidity providing, and so it's sitting there on the demand side. Pretty interesting move there for sure, and we think that was possibly defensive and offensive move for price support. Not sure who did it, of course. Was it Origin Wallet, or was it somebody else who? That's the way we roll. All right, so here we are at the moment. Price at the moment 13.39. We'll see where we go with the chart here. It hasn't gone up this way at this stage, but it is kind of moving sideways in this 2 cent range. So we'll see how it is. The volume's definitely dropped off though down the bottom there. So we'll wait and see what happens there. I guess another day, maybe 2 days, we'll see. It could be just tracking sideways, and then we may see another surge as we get closer to the Pulsechain, day 16, day 17, 18, 19, particularly day 19, and see where we get a little bit of a rally there. But only whales will be able to really move the price, in my opinion. So we have to see some big players do that if they decide to. And like I say, probably the Origin wallet, maybe one of those most likely. We'll see how it goes, folks, on that one. And yeah, let's quickly check where Hex is on Nomics. And Nomics sitting at the moment, Hex is sitting at 77.54 billion, about 20 million in daily turnover. Remember, it got over 100 million at one stage, so it's down about was it it's a fifth of what that was at the moment, but still sitting at net rank number 3, and sitting comfortably above Tether and Binance Coin on nomics.com, which is probably our favorite site for sure. And let's quickly check the news. There's no news from Richard so far that I checked. Richard at the beginning of the live stream. Nothing new from him from yesterday's update. So he did do a video, of course. You can go check Richard Hart on YouTube to see his last video if you want to hear him talk. And then obviously this was just a reminder from the Pulsechain on Twitter that the last 3 days sacrifice phase will not participate in the volume bonus ranking. So if you're not in the day 1 to 16, you won't be included that second part. Bigger pays better on the volume ranking. The volume bonus rank ends on day 16. Just take that into account. That's why we say day 16 we might see something happen on that because of the volume rank, or day 19. We might see something maybe with the Origin wallet. Don't expect the Origin wallet to participate if it does decide to participate, something like that, in the volume ranking up to day 16. That might not be a great look. So maybe that may not happen there. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Like I said, I'm not sure what's happening with the concentration in Hex. We've got the Origin wallet, but in Pulsechain, there's no feature like that. And that basically goes back to the idea that Richard says one of the pimp mentors is that the best time to buy a token is when it's most concentrated, and like at the beginning, basically, like Bitcoin, getting Bitcoin at the beginning, that kind of thing. Today is day 10, and of course, today ends in 10 hours. This is obviously a day ago. So last 3 days are just a flat bonus of 1.75, so something to just take into account there. All right, very cool. And that was about it. There's no real news there. How we're doing for time? 38 minutes, not too bad. Hey, Vusi's in the chat there. Hey, hello, Vusi, good to see you. So very cool. Let's quickly go back and check pulse leads. We'll do one more wrap up. That's about all I have today. We're just tracking each day as it goes. I hope you guys have enjoyed these updates in the Sacrifice Hangout, and just getting an overview. Especially if you're busy, probably quite useful for people who are busy. So there we are, 6,654, plus include another 30 million or so for Bitcoin Cash, and all the rest of them. That's how I get up to the 685 mark. And obviously this is missing some sends, sacrifices, and staked app sacrifices as well. So you can sacrifice and stake your app, but I haven't done it myself, but it apparently is featured, so pretty cool. And that's so nice. And let's just do one more refresh for the Ethereum blockchain. Now you obviously can see stuff on BSC and stuff like that as well, but that's pretty much it. So yeah, 3 billion and 33 million in Hex value, 583 on that. So I think that's probably a good time to wrap up. Frosty Dog's in the house. Hello, my man. Good to see you, Frosty Dog. And welcome. Hex to 28 cents then I sacrifice. Yeah, well, that looks like it's going to be the case. So, if you're going to look at sacrifice, you're really going to want that Hex price to pump. Quite a few people are going to hold Hex. If we're going to talk about strategies, quite a few people are just going to hold Hex and get P Hex, and they'll make whatever the price gets all the post tokens get priced up from zero. Big steep drop in history, but also a big gold rush as well. And obviously, Pulsecoin will probably have to be priced in first. There is going to be a price facilitator on the site to start the prices going. That's how it's going to work, and then everyone can start buying and selling. So that's going to be pretty cool. Yeah, so a lot of people may not sacrifice their coins, particularly now, and hold them in eHex, and they'll get a copy in PHEX. So you're not losing out if you've got some Hex in your wallet, or any of the other tokens for that matter, because you're going to get a copy on the Pulsechain, and we'll see how it goes. Party time for sure. And of course, we're waiting for see some of Richard's secret sources, some of his things up his sleeve, as it were, and it's going to be a fun time. So worst comes to worst, if you don't decide to go on the Pulsechain, the price doesn't pump, and we see another surge in sacrifice, then if you're holding those coins, you're still going to have the chance for those getting priced up pretty handsomely. Obviously, nothing is for certain. You've got to do nothing in this video. Of course, it's investment advice. You've got to do your own due diligence, as they say. But awesome stuff. Hope you guys have a good time, and don't forget to catch me tomorrow. Of course, I'll be doing another update on day number 12. It will be, can you believe it, day 12 of 19 tomorrow, and then we'll have only a week left after that. So pretty cool. All right, hope you enjoyed that one. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, smash that like button, and of course, catch me for tomorrow. Just got a couple of comments here. We'll just read those out. Mac Paul's in the house. Hey, Mac Paul, good to see you. Nice to see you on the auction show last night as well. Good evening. In regards to Pulsechain total supply, RH said around 10 trillion. Sounds a lot. What are your views on Pulsechain network supply? Is it a good for? Yeah, so I just talked about that earlier. We could get up to 15, something maybe 15 trillion or something, who knows, but 10 trillion at the moment is sort of the number being bandied around. Richard did mention that. So I'm expecting, it all depends on how much you price it against Ethereum as a market cap. And so I'm sort of saying maybe a tenth of a penny, but as Alex says, could get up to a few pennies by the end of the year. So we'll see how that goes. I'll probably do a little modeling for that for tomorrow. So if you want to see me tomorrow, I'll do some modeling around what the supply. We'll just do some basic numbers around the price of supply, the market cap versus Ethereum, and how much what that price would actually be. So it's just going to be a sort of a mathematical outcome, and we can talk about that tomorrow. So catch me tomorrow, and we'll get into that stuff there. And obviously, it's going to be based on what we see so far. Hope you guys enjoy that. Thanks, Alex, again, as always. A nice question there, Mac Paul, to end the show. And what's it, 41 minutes or a bit earlier? Normally we do an hour, but we haven't got a lot of news to talk about today. So very cool. Mac Paul says, see you tomorrow. Thank you. No, your pleasure. Good to see you in the chat again. So thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you later, Alex, in the auction show. And nice one for that. Have a good day, everybody. Peace out, live long and prosper, and all the rest of it. All right, take care. Cheers.